Okay, class, I know we're still a few days away from starting, but I always like to get an early start and get things done, and I'm trying to think of ways to help us save time next week so we can actually get quicker into the pieces of literature and actually start getting into the meat of the class. So what I'm going to show you today, instead of actually discussing the syllabus in class on Monday, I will answer clarifying questions and stuff like that, but instead of discussing it, I'm going to actually do that in the form of a video. I've already posted the syllabus and the expectations form that I'm going to go over in just a few minutes in Edmodo. So if you are looking here at your Edmodo page, make sure you're actually on the class page. Then you'll see things like posts, folders, members, and stuff like that. You want the folders section. And under the folder section, you'll see one that's actually the name of this class. And you'll see a bunch of documents in there. This is where I will put documents to be printed out for now. We will be changing to another system within the first month of school that you guys will be helping me to test and pilot for the school, but we'll go over that more in depth as we get into it. So for now, we're going to look at the AP Language Syllabus, and we're going to look at the AP Language course expectations. The course expectations you actually need to print out, read it, sign it, have your parents sign it, have you sign it, and it's due in class by Tuesday. So keeping that in mind is important. And they are PDFs, so they should be able to open on any computer. So let's go ahead and start. We're going to look at the syllabus first. Notice here it has my name. My office hours will be Monday and Wednesday from 3:30 to 4. Or you can make appointments if I'm sitting in my classroom at lunch or recess. More than happy to answer questions for you. Just pop on by. My preferred method of contact has always been my email address. I do list the school phone number here, but I don't always get the messages. It's hard to respond to them and stuff like that, especially with time, so I prefer email. Here are the required texts. In the intro video, you already saw the idea of your textbook and the Wordly Wise book. Your summer reading books are listed here. I forgot to list one. So we have, actually I didn't list the summer reading books at all. These are the books we will be reading during the year itself. Do not worry necessarily about purchasing them yet, because several of them we have available online in free PDFs. And I will offer you to purchase them through me. I get teacher discounts on this stuff too. So we do that, but I will tell you about 2 to 3 weeks in advance of the books when we start using them, and we're not even going to start the first one, Mouse, until December, so you have plenty of time. We already talked about supplies and the binder that you will need with the set of dividers to be kept in class. All of these supplies are due by Tuesday, so keeping that in mind. Course description, we've already talked about this idea that this is a AP class that you are required to take a AP test in May. The main focus and organization around this class is American literature. I do stuff outside of American literature as well, but just the main focus in 11th grade in the state of California is American literature, so I try and keep a lot of the material that we do from there, plus a lot of the stuff that's in the textbook itself comes from American literature. Okay, so I'm huge on this idea of academic integrity, and it's not just me, it's the entire school. Plagiarism, cheating, copying someone's homework, any of that, I am completely against. Not only will it find you being disciplined and having to attend an academic integrity meeting, but it will also probably find you being dropped from the AP class. So I would highly suggest that you not do that. I highly suggest that you give credit where credit is due, that if it's your homework, it's your homework. It's not give it to my friend and let my friend copy it. They need to watch the videos. They need to take the notes. They need to do their own homework. Everyone is responsible for their own learning. It's your idea of integrity. It's your self-discipline, and it's your respect for others, myself, and the school that are important in this idea of an academic institution. So keeping this idea of academic dishonesty in your mind is important. Okay, grading scale. This is somewhat normal school grading scale. Because it's an AP class, we skew things a little differently. 45% for tests and essays. This is major, formal, outside of class typed essays. And that's almost 50% of your grade goes towards that. But keep in mind that in a given quarter, we have anywhere in the area of 5 to 6 things that go in that category. So you definitely have a chance to raise your grade if you're not doing well to begin with. Quizzes and in-class essays, these are the handwritten in-class timed essays. And journals might get thrown in here a little bit as well. But that's 25% of your grade. Then we have projects and presentations are 10%. I usually do about 2 of these per quarter. Classwork a couple times a week, and homework almost every night. Noticing that homework does only have that 10% aspect, but if you don't do your homework, you can't get an A. And you notice participation is missing. To me, participation is part of an everyday expectation. It's not something I grade separately, but if you are not participating, focusing, taking notes, paying attention, and being an active learner in class, it will affect your grade because you won't be prepared for the quizzes, the tests, you won't do well in the essays, you won't understand the projects, you might have problems with the classwork and homework. So it's very important that you pay attention. Okay, homework and makeups. I am a huge stickler for time. Okay, don't waste my time. I won't waste your time. I'm not going to assign you fluff assignments just to give you something to do. So keeping that in mind, if you were absent, you have to make up the assignment within 1 week of the initial absence, but you can only make it up if it is an excused absence. You know where to go in the office to get these excused. It has to be done quickly, and then whatever test or quiz is missing has to be done 1 week of the original absence. So if you're absent on Monday, you have until the next Monday to make it up. Once it passes that next Monday, you're done. I don't care if it's 2 months later, if it's 3 months later, if it's I just got my absence excused and it's 3 weeks later, we're done. You have a week to take care of it. Okay? And it goes on my schedule, not on yours. So if I'm not available to do a makeup with you, you need to keep that in mind as well. Okay, homework. Yes, there will be a lot of homework for this class. Most of it is writing and reading things and watching videos. Okay, all assignments are due at the beginning of class unless I say differently. So if there's homework the night before and you walk into class, you'll sit down, you'll put it either in the basket, which I'll show you the first couple of days of class, or you will open your notebook and we'll walk around and check and we'll use it as a discussion point to start the class. If you fail to turn in your homework on the due dates, then you'll be given a warning. If the problem persists, I'll deal with it according to the school rules, which usually includes calling your parents or emailing your parents. If it becomes a persistent problem, I will consider dropping you from the class because you're not putting in the effort into the class that you need to. And your grade will drastically start to drop. Yes, I know homework's only worth 10%, but if you're not doing your homework, you're not prepared for everything else. Okay? I do not do late homework. If it's due on Monday, it's due on Monday. The only exception, like I said, is the excused absence, but if it's an excused absence, you only have a week to make up tests or quizzes. Homework, you have less than. Okay, especially being an AP student that's responsible. You should keep that in mind. If you're absent on Monday and the homework was assigned on Friday and over the weekend, you should turn in when you walk in the door on Tuesday. Don't think about waiting because I will not follow you. I will not hunt you down and say, hey, you need to turn this in. It is your responsibility as being an AP responsible student who wants this extra credit. I don't give extra credit, so get that word out of your brain now. But as in, like, you want the responsibility. Okay, participation. Yes, I know participation is spelled wrong. You'll find things like that spelled wrong every once in a while. When we get into the game that we're going to play for class, you will see how catching spelling mistakes works on that. Okay, so participation, like I said, it's the center of the class, it's meaningful discussion, it's participation, it's essential in there. Note-taking goes into this, having all of your materials, harmony of the class, being disruptive, all important things to note. If you're going to be disruptive in my classroom, you can get out. I don't have a problem dropping people from the class. There are 23 people in the class, so I'm okay to drop a couple. If you're not going to be responsible and you're not going to participate properly, then you can go to the other class itself, and it won't affect your schedule very much because there is another 11th grade English class scheduled at the same time as this class. So keeping that in mind, I like to have fun, I like to discuss, I like to joke, I like to be sarcastic, but I also like to learn. And to me, all of that happens through the learning process. Okay, classwork, you will find out more about this as we're going on. Activities and assigned during class, obviously worksheets, group work, projects, journal writing, questions, that type of stuff. And it is completed during class. It's not homework unless I say so. If you were absent, you will have the opportunity to make it up, again, only if the absence is excused. Okay, technology. We are a flipped class, so this is getting used to this idea of videos is important. We will have, like I mentioned in the intro video, you will watch the video, you will take notes. I highly suggest taking notes, pushing pause, doing the activities as it goes along. Because it's not just about watching the video and answering the questions as part of Edpuzzle. It's also about having the notes prepared for class, because we will use those in class the next day. You will be allowed to use laptops and tablets during class if that helps you. And as we get deeper into the game that we're going to play, as we get deeper into a new thing that we're going to, like I said, test with the school, or test for the school, you're going to actually be encouraged to bring your laptops and tablets more. Okay, here, academic syllabus. This is what the syllabus is going to look like, or I basically view this as a checklist for what we're going to do for the year. So if you want to print this, put this in your notebook, save this on your computer, so that you have it to work through as a checklist. That's completely your call. There are several ongoing assignments that we will go through. We will not start forums until after August 15th, so I will discuss those more in detail then. Just remembering due dates of Sunday and Wednesday, and that you're writing things, and I have time deadlines. The computer shuts down, or the program shuts down at certain times. You will have literary device, vocabulary, and grammar review that will take place throughout the course. In addition to regular weekly assignments. Each of these will show up in some fashion on the AP test. There will also be weekly writing assignments in class, as well as at least three major out-of-class essays per semester. And Friday, to me, is quiz day. We will rotate Fridays. 1 week we will do vocabulary, 1 week we will do multiple choice practice quizzes. They are both graded, they both go in the quiz category. It is important to be prepared for them. Monday, I will introduce vocabulary words in the form of a video. We will do certain things with them throughout the week. And then you'll take a quiz on Friday. Multiple choice, there won't be prep for it. It'll just be every Friday you walk in, pull out a pen, and you'll have 20 minutes, sometime ranging between 10 and 20 minutes, depending on the length of the passage, to complete the multiple choice. And we'll do things with them each time we do this too. And then as you scroll down, you will notice what we're going to discuss with each unit, what pages we're doing, about how long it's going to last, what vocabulary from the textbook you're responsible for, a website or two in here, some project ideas that we'll be working on. Noticing independent reading is important as well. First semester is jam-packed. If you can survive the first quarter, you're usually golden with this class. So keeping that in mind is important. And going all the way through to the AP test. Okay, so the next form I have that is also still in that folder is the AP English Language and Composition course expectations. This is basically a summary of the syllabus. You need to print this. It goes through the idea of the plagiarism, the technology, the grading, attendance, makeups, all of that type of stuff, and the AP test. You need to read it. Your parents need to read it. You need to print it out, obviously, before then, and you need to sign it. It is due in class on Tuesday. I will see you in class on Monday. Have a good last weekend before classes start, and I will see you then. Thank you.